everyone, welcome back to Jungkook News. Today we're talking about a moment that fans still can't move on from, a look that didn't need to be loud to be powerful, and a styling choice that felt so perfectly aligned with Jungkook that it continues to resurface years later. As we look toward the future and the possibility of a 2026 tour, one question keeps returning on its own: why does this particular outfit still feel so relevant, and what does it reveal about vision, timing, and the kind of impact that never truly fades? The moment Jungkook stepped out in that look back then, something shifted. It wasn't loud. It wasn't forced. It was the kind of styling that didn't beg for attention yet demanded it anyway. Fans didn't need explanations. One glance was enough to know this wasn't just clothing. This was intention. What made it unforgettable wasn't only the fit or the colors, it was how perfectly it aligned with Jungkook himself. Confident, effortless, quietly dangerous in the best way. The outfit didn't overpower him, it amplified him. Every movement felt sharper. Every expression felt deeper. It was the kind of styling that tells a story without saying a word. And that's why, years later, fans still talk about it. Not because it was trendy, but because it felt right. There was a clear understanding behind that look, an understanding of Jungkook's duality. Soft but commanding, youthful yet grounded, artistic, but never try hard. Whoever curated that outfit understood how to balance restraint and impact, and that's rare. What makes this conversation even more compelling is how organically it keeps resurfacing. No announcements triggered it. No promotional push revived it. Fans simply remembered. And in fandom culture, memory is powerful. It means something left a mark deep enough to resurface on its own. That outfit became a reference point. A silent benchmark for how Jungkook can look when styling doesn't compete with him, but collaborates with him. It's the difference between being dressed and being understood, and fans can feel that difference immediately. There's also a reason why this look feels especially relevant now. Jungkook has grown not just as an artist, but as a performer who commands space with ease. The styling back then hinted at that future. It framed him as someone who didn't need exaggeration to dominate a stage, someone whose presence alone could carry an entire visual narrative. That's why fans believe this approach would be perfect for a 2026 tour. A tour isn't about recreating the past, it's about evolving with intention. And that iconic outfit represents a philosophy fans trust. Clean lines, thoughtful choices, styling that lets Jungkook's confidence breathe. Nothing distracting, nothing unnecessary. In an era where fashion can often feel overwhelming, that look stood out by doing less and meaning more. Fans aren't asking for replicas. They're asking for the mindset behind it. The quiet confidence, the sharp intuition, the creative courage to let Jungkook be the center, not the canvas for excess. Because when Jungkook walks on stage, the world already watches. The right styling doesn't scream for attention, it steps back and lets history happen. That's the kind of impact fans are hoping to see again. There's also an unspoken trust embedded in this moment. Fans trust Jungkook's instincts, but they also trust the teams who know when to listen to him, and when to protect his natural presence instead of decorating it. That particular outfit felt like the result of quiet conversations, careful observation, and a shared understanding of who Jungkook is at his core. It didn't feel rushed. It didn't feel overthought. It felt considered, and that's why it still resonates. As Jungkook's artistry continues to mature, fans are increasingly aware of how visual identity shapes an era. Styling becomes part of the storytelling, especially on tour, where each night is a chapter repeated across continents. The right look doesn't just frame the performance, it anchors it. It gives fans something to hold on to long after the lights go down. That outfit did exactly that. It created an image that could stand still and still feel alive. Screenshots became wallpapers. Clips turned into references, and slowly, without anyone naming it, the look became symbolic of a moment when everything aligned perfectly. That's not accidental. It's the result of restraint, of knowing when not to add more, of trusting Jungkook's body language, his gaze, his energy. Styling that understands this doesn't chase spectacle, it creates clarity. As fans imagine a 2026 tour, they aren't asking for nostalgia-driven visuals. They're imagining continuity. A visual language that respects Jungkook's evolution while honoring the instincts that got it right before. Something refined, something intentional, something powerful without being loud. Because Jungkook doesn't need access to command a stadium. He needs space. Space to move. Space to connect. Space to let emotion travel without interference. And when styling gives him that space, the result feels almost cinematic. Not staged but inevitable. That's why this conversation matters now. It's not about one outfit, it's about recognizing when something worked so well that it deserves to shape the future. Fans aren't looking backward. They're pointing forward, guided by a moment that proved how impactful the right creative vision can be. What makes this even more meaningful is how Jungkook himself has become more intentional over time. His confidence now feels quieter, but stronger, less about proving something, more about owning his space. Styling that recognizes this shift has the power to elevate his presence without ever distracting from it. That iconic look wasn't just fashionable, it was aligned with a mindset. A mindset that values precision over excess, impact over noise, and authenticity over trends. If that same level of understanding returns for the 2026 tour, it could define an era fans won't just watch, but remember for years to come. There's also a certain confidence in allowing simplicity to speak louder than spectacle. Jungkook has always thrived in moments where nothing feels forced, where the visuals support rather than compete with his artistry. That's why fans keep returning to that outfit. It represented balance. A harmony between performer and presentation that felt honest and unmanufactured. As expectations rise for future stages, fans aren't asking for extravagance, they're asking for intention. For styling choices that respect Jungkook's evolution and trust his ability to carry the moment on his own. If that philosophy guides the next tour, every stage could feel personal, even in the largest arenas. And as the countdown to the next chapter continues, one thing feels certain. Jungkook's future stages will be unforgettable. The only question left is whether the people who once captured lightning in a bottle are ready to do it again, this time, on a global scale. And that's why this conversation matters, not just as a memory, but as a reminder of how the right vision can shape an entire era. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want more exclusive stories and thoughtful discussions for Jungkook fans, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Jungkook News, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.